Hello, everyone. For those of you I may not have had the pleasure to meet, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sean Limley. I am the Director of Product Solutions here for Dominion Payroll. I'd really like to take a moment, thank you all for joining us today as part of our Client Appreciation Week, and really welcome you to what I hope is going to be a fun and exciting analysis of our technology. Obviously, technology can mean many things, but it's got an ever-changing landscape, and it's just constantly progressing. So we wanted to bring you some insight as to how we at Dominion Payroll partner with isolved and how we plan to continue to deliver our best user experiences for you, our client. So with me today, I would really like to take a moment to introduce a extremely important person within this arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, with me today is Kelli Rico, isolved's Vice President of Product Management. Kelli, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit of a, kind of a peek behind the curtains here.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes, introduce myself, and talk about the Dominion Payroll and iSolved partnership because it's one of the most important things that we've built at iSolved. I have been with the company for almost 13 years and was lucky enough to, be at the beginning of the Dominion Payroll and iSolved partnership way back in 2014. It seems like it's been a really, really long time, but time has flown. And, one of my favorite things about the partnership that we have together is, Dominion Payroll has the ability to deliver that world-class service with our best-in-class technology. So partnering the two together or pairing the two together helps us deliver those, critical functions for you to run your business and to make sure that you're there when, moments that matter happen, and knowing that you have great partners behind you to make sure that your job is successful day in and day out. Dominion Payroll, if you don't know this already, has been one of our Partner of the Year award winners multiple times. So we are thrilled to partner with them to continue partnering. And I can't wait to show you what we've got on the roadmap for 2025.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kelli. Just real quick, would you mind just kind of telling us a little bit about your position with iSolved and how you kind of manage the process?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as Sean mentioned, I lead our product management division here at iSolved. And what that means is, we get to build all the fun stuff that you use day in and day out. So, our job is to go through and assess what's happening in the market, make sure that we're staying on top of all of those market trends to deliver great functionality to you, and truly going in and building out the information from the ground up. We want to make sure as we're building these features out, we're not being siloed to something that just one person needs, but that we're building it in a manner that every iSolved customer, every Dominion customer can utilize it. It doesn't matter if you're a 5-man company or a 5,000-man company. We want to make sure that the features that we're building fit perfectly for you and your needs. So our team does that day in and day out in a manner of ways. I know we're going to talk about Sean, our ideas process or how we get features into the system. How do we know what to do? So I don't want to spoil that, but we get to spend in the product side of the house, we get to spend a lot of time with customers like you and also partnering with Dominion Payroll just to do interviews, right? Understand what's important to you as we get those into the roadmap.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. And that's a wonderful segue. So, I know everyone on here is really excited to hear all the new features, all the new innovations that are coming. But let's, for a moment, just focus in on the how. How exactly does iSolved prioritize the placement of some of these feature requests and/or enhancements? How do you all design, surface that information, and know where we could potentially execute on a new item?
Yeah. So the roadmap ideas come in from many different areas. The most important area that it comes from is feedback from you, the customers, right? Making sure that we're understanding what your needs are, but we work also with several industry analysts to help us. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, make sure that we're staying on top of all of those market trends. So we meet with these analysts on a monthly and a quarterly basis just to get feedback, right? We're talking to them about the things that we feel are important inside of the system to ensure that we're hitting those critical needs. The other piece of the roadmap is compliance. I would be, remiss if I didn't talk about compliance being the forefront of our mind. We have to make sure that this platform is built to be compliant in all states So we've got a compliance team that sits with us, helps us sit through and review all of the laws that are coming, and those things have to come first on the roadmap. So, while features are great, making sure that data is secure and that we've got good compliance items built into the product is forefront of our mind. And then we get to work with wonderful partners like Dominion Payroll, and they feed us y'all's examples or your ideas, that you would like to see inside of the system. Now, we pride ourselves on making sure that we're not making the product customizable, but we're making the system itself configurable. So all of the ideas that are coming in from customers just like you are making their way onto our ideas portal. The ideas portal is a way for us to truly get crowdsourcing built into how we get stuff into the system itself. We don't want to build something that is specific to just one customer, like I mentioned towards the beginning of this presentation. We really want to build a product that is, a product that can be used by any size customer. And so the crowdsourcing allows us to see, what do you, our customers, actually want inside of the system? We do a good balance of those compliance items that we talked about, plus the features. But again, we want to make sure those features that are most important to you rise to the top. And we found that the crowdsourcing is the best way, right? And with the crowdsourcing, we're able to gather information from all different areas of the isolved kind of ecosystem, if you will. We're getting them from our direct customers. I think we're at just over 200 network partners, very similar to Dominion Payroll. So everybody is, gathering these ideas and allowing people to vote on them, we think has been kind of the best process to get items into the roadmap to ensure that we're solving all of your needs.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. I'm so happy that you mentioned the compliance aspect on there. Obviously, it sounds like there is basically the way I'd equate it is there's a moving train and there's only limited seats on there. So everyone's constantly trying to fight for that space to help improve everything. So it's amazing and to hear about all of the tons of planning and collaboration that you all have to do just even interdepartmentally in order to be able to execute for all of our clients. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into that. So
There is a ton of work. 1 second, Sean. I want to add one more thing that I just thought about, if you're okay with that, before we move on to the next piece. And that is the timing of the roadmap process. I can't believe I didn't think about this at the beginning. As Sean mentioned, we've got lots of people clamoring for stuff to be built inside of the product. And, trust me, we want to be able to build everything that goes into it. So if I think about compliance for 1 second, then I'm going to switch gears and go to the other side. Compliance is the most important thing, and I'll say fortunately, but unfortunately, those compliance items come in at different times, right? We can't control when a new law or a new regulation goes into place. So what that means is if something compliance related pops up and, we're told you have 45 days to get this into the system, anything on the roadmap that we've promised, so all of these great features that I'm going to talk to you about in just a couple of minutes, some of those things are going to get shifted back. And, we're not happy that we have to shift things back, but while keeping compliance top of mind, that's unfortunately or fortunately what we have to do, right? We have to squeeze those compliance items in. So if you've ever found yourself, waiting for a feature to hit the roadmap and then you're bummed because it got pushed back, the likelihood of the reason that it got pushed back is because of a compliance item. So I just want to throw that out there because it happens frequently, and we want to make sure that we're staying compliant while also delivering those great features. With that, the roadmap itself is planned out 1 year in advance, and that's crazy to me. Every single year when we build the roadmap out, I'm a little, I don't know, I get frozen, I get stuck because technology is constantly changing, right? It's evolving day by day. So if I map something out today that I'm going to do a year from now, we may have new industry trends. We may have, fun new stuff that people want to get into the roadmap. So we do our best to leave space in that 1 year roadmap to kind of fit in some of those fun puzzle pieces or new compliance items as they come in. But I think it's important to call out that 1 year time frame, because as we look at those ideas and start sourcing through where we can put them, there is a chance that you see your idea or you give your idea and you may not see it built into the product for a year. And it's not because we're not listening. It's not because Dominion and isolved aren't talking. We're talking every single day, but we've got to make sure that that roadmap that we've built out a year in advance to make sure that we're staying up with all of those trends, those get executed on, and then we can kind of weed in or feed in some of those new, fresh ideas that are coming in through the portal.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's sounds like an awful lot of planning and coordination on there. So that's thank you all for doing a lot of that heavy lifting and make sure that we can execute based upon the ideas and the feedback that we are working hard to collect from our clients to pass along to you. So obviously we're coming up here on the end of the 2024 year, and we've got some fantastic improvements to the system that have come out over this past year. So just wanted to kind of take a moment, and if you wouldn't mind, just kind of highlighting some of the features and new items that you and your team are most proud of, and just some of the great innovations that we've had this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I want to start with our innovations around AI. AI, I feel like, is the buzzword that's been used for the last couple of years. And I don't know about you, but for myself, when I started hearing about AI, I almost kind of panicked, right? I panicked because I don't want somebody taking over my job. I don't want somebody or something that's constantly listening. In our day and age right now, we've got Alexas in our room, we've got Siris on our phones. So it kind of made me cringe when I heard HCM is going through the AI world, or AI is coming to HCM. But once I kind of took a step back and realized how great the functionality could be, how much easier some of the processes that we're doing day to day could be with AI, I kind of changed my tune. So for those of you who may be a little bit scared about AI or unsure about it, my personal ask is that you give it a shot, give it a chance. Start with something simple like a chat GPT if you have a question that you want to get answered, just so you can kind of see how it functions. But last year, or I guess it's this year, we spent a ton of time focusing on how do we put AI innovations inside of the isolved platform. And a lot of the AI that we built is around our applicant tracking system. So I want to talk these first three bullets that are on the slide right now. I want to talk a little bit about those because in a world where a single job post can garner hundreds of applicants, the question that we get asked all the time, or that I'm constantly thinking, is how do you find the right candidate? How do you find the best person in an unbiased way? So with our AI-based candidate matching tool, the goal here is to take a look at all of those resumes that come in, thousands of resumes that come in for one individual job post, and it kind of brings all of those top candidates to the top of the list. The goal there is that you don't have to spend the time sifting through all of those applications. What it's doing is looking at the job posting that you built, looking at the resume for that candidate, and it's matching up all of the skills and requirements. And then it'll surface those top 10 candidates to the top of that board so that you can, start with them first, and then you can start going through additional resumes if necessary. Ultimately being able to effectively screen those applicants based on that success criteria has conducted in over 6 million matches to date. So the system is working hard behind the scenes for you so that you can focus on those moments that matter and those employees that you have today, while the system is kind of building that talent pool for you. Now, continuing the positive impact that AI has in the talent acquisition world, we realized that a lot of our customers were struggling with the first step of applicant tracking. And that's, how do I get an interesting job posting out there? And it's not necessarily where you post those jobs, but it's what you post. How do you capture somebody's attention when there's hundreds of different job postings out there very similar to yours? So, we've given our customers the ability to leverage those Gen AI capabilities, very similar to ChatGPT, to convert those job descriptions into a compelling job ad to attract those top candidates. Now, with the job ad authoring tool, we've already generated over 9,000 job ads. And these two features have just been in the system since the beginning of the year. So hopefully those numbers kind of show you some of the work that it's doing behind the scenes to help make your life easier. Now, the last one that's in here is our tailored hiring workflows. And, the tailored hiring workflows help customers who are hiring for many different roles become, and let's say industry specific roles, maybe in manufacturing, retails and services, or logistics. Based on the employees that you're bringing on board, their hiring process may be slightly different. So with the tailored hiring workflows, you can convert the job descriptions into, industry specific job descriptions, and the hiring workflow can be completely separate for each of them. Again, making sure that for each type of employee that you want to bring in-house, you've got something tailored to their specific needs. Now, the last one that I want to touch on is the flexible earned wage access. A lot of our employees in today's day and age are living paycheck to paycheck. And sometimes, as an organization, you may run off of a biweekly pay period, and that employee just needs access to their funds a little bit sooner. And that's where the earned wage access comes in, where employees can get a piece of that pie as they work rather than waiting until that initial payday. Now, in a recent study, only 5% of employers have implemented or started offering an on-demand pay or that earned wage access option. And in that study, 75% of employees that we went out and surveyed said that they would love to be offered a service like this. While they may not need it for themselves, they felt like, they knew somebody, whether that be friend or family, that could utilize this feature. So this is just 4 of the innovations that we've done so far this year. I think we have just over 2,000, and I know that number is growing because I pulled that number probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, but just over 2,000 features have been added into the People Cloud system just in 2024.
Wow, that is certainly impressive. I love hearing and highlighting all of the usage of AI within the system. Kelly, last year when we were attending the conference, AI was the buzzword. You could not walk 3 feet without hearing someone speak about it. And just like everyone else, I was apprehensive at first. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen with it? But seeing how it is being utilized and launched within the product, and the improvements in the process that it is generating is just extremely important. I've heard from a number of our clients that are using this feature that it is extremely helpful for them. It is quick and easy for them. It is really reducing the amount of time that they're having to spend scanning over and reading every single applicant resume on there. So I really love this improvement for our clients. I think that's a great feature on there. So all right, that's all well and good. Everyone loves kind of all the accolades and saying hip hip hooray for what we did in 2024. But what about 2025? That's what everyone is really kind of here for. So before we get into all of the new features and everything, when you were presenting us with the roadmap, one of the items that really impressed me was how isolved seems to bucket or categorize all of these different enhancement ideas that are coming into you. So would you mind taking a moment here and let's talk about kind of what matters most and how you all bucket them and how you define these buckets?
Yeah, absolutely. So each year we try to theme our roadmap. We try to create like 3 to 4 different buckets. And this year our conference, excuse me, our Connect user conference, it was all themed around experiences that matter, right? And I think you can take experiences that matter in many different ways. But as the product marketing and the product management team sat down to try to figure out how do we theme our roadmap? What do we think matters most? Each of you are what matters most. And we tried to bucket these into people, business, experience, and your voice. So the people that you employ, the people that you are interviewing to potentially bring into your organization, those people matter most, right? Making sure that you can get the best people to come in and match your culture is what matters most to us. So that's one area that we were focusing on. Business, your business matters, right? Without you here, we wouldn't be able to do the jobs that we do day in and day out. So we want to make sure that we're building tools that help you scale your business, that help you keep your business running day to day. Experiences. Now, experiences matter. I think we've used employee experience for a couple of years, but I think it has to stay. Employee experience matters, but everybody's experience matters. Whether you're an employee, a manager, a supervisor, you're a payroll administrator, no matter what your role is within an organization, we have to make sure that we're bringing you positive experiences while using the iSolve platform. And then last but not least, your voice matters. And I know Sean and I just talked about all of those ideas, But, we love to hear from you to build our roadmap out because your voice does matter. What you need to make your business successful, your employees' experiences successful, all the people within your organization successful, right? That your voice matters kind of rounds it out. That without your voice, we wouldn't be able to do all of these great things on our roadmap. So, we appreciate everything each of you do to field us and give us great information. And we hope that what we're building into the roadmap, which we're going to talk about in just a few moments, resonates with some of the things that you would love to see in the platform of your choice.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. As I said, I love how you all categorize all of those and really listen to the big picture when developing a platform that is user friendly for all individuals, not just an admin, but the employee, the contractor, anyone that might interact with the tool has the ability to have the best user experience available. So I guess without further ado, Kelly, why don't you talk us through some of the 2025 innovations that are coming? Let us know which ones are you and your team most excited about. What's the biggest bang for the buck, for example?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Let's kick things off with Payroll Anywhere. Now, Payroll Anywhere is a great example of ensuring that isolved is providing amazing experiences. So this is going to sound a little damper for a second, but let's take the hurricanes that recently affected a lot of our friends and family. Most of those people lost power. They maybe didn't have access to their work offices to process payroll. Now, you would think in a moment of a natural disaster, processing payroll isn't the first thing that comes to mind, but families still need to pay rent. They need to have food on the table, right? They still need all of these services that we as business owners provide to them. Now, with iSolve's Payroll Anywhere, it gives those HR representatives, our payroll processing teams, the ability to physically go in and process payroll from anywhere on any device. So, everybody is dependent on that HR team to ensure that they get paid and can support their families. So, with that Payroll Anywhere, administrators will be able to lock and commit their time cards, preview your payroll reports, and even process that payroll on the go. Now, our plan or our thought process when we started thinking about this is that you're probably not doing this on your mobile device or your tablet every single time you process payroll, but in that moment of need, when you need to step outside of the office or you're unable to get to the office, we want to ensure that payroll operations can continue uninterrupted. Um, that way you can take care of, your most important assets, your employees.
Thank
Sean, if
you.
you bump to the next slide for me, we were just talking about experiences that matter. And I know that we spend a ton of time focusing on our employees because after all, we are in the HR field and the employees are the heart of our business. But you as the administrators are also just as important. And we're excited to announce that we're working on an administrator workspace. Our goal here is to call attention to tasks and reminders that are important to your role. So things like it's time to process payroll or open enrollment is coming soon. Maybe you need to adjust your holidays. Anything that has a reminder associated to you will all surface into the top portion of the page. Now, the other portion of the workspace is, we want to ensure that we're streamlining all communication coming from Dominion and from iSolved. And there's a People Heroes World widget in the top right-hand corner. The goal there is to give you important details such as, events that might be happening in your community, the launch of new products, and the ability to easily access our communities and share your expertise with all of your peers. So, while we understand that the admin workspace can't cover 90% of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, the goal is to kind of surface a lot of that relevant material into one page and think of it as like a hub and spoke model. It's all surfaced on one page and it may link you out to a different portion of the system, but we're trying to limit the amount of navigating that you have to do so that you can get things done in a timely manner. We recognize that you're using iSolved and Dominion payroll for a portion of your job. It's not your whole job. So we have to make sure that the product itself is easy to navigate and easy to use throughout the day. Now, if we jump to the next one, this is where we're focusing on the employee workspace. Now, what we've learned here at iSolved is that the quality of a user's interaction with the program actually impacts their overall satisfaction and perception of the products within that program. So we want to make sure that all users' interactions with the product are an exceptional experience. Now, we've done several research, and feedback sessions from our customers at our road shows, at our conferences, gathering information from partners like Dominion Payroll and their customers. And we need to make sure that we're surfacing the most relevant experiences throughout the platform for each of our users. Now, with the employee workspace, our goal was to make sure that 90% of what an employee, manager, and supervisor does on a day-to-day basis is directly on this homepage, right? We need to reduce the number of clicks for them to complete a specific task. Just like I mentioned with you as the administrators, we recognize that your employees have jobs to do day in and day out, and isolved's just a tool to help them do a portion of their job. So we need to make, ease of use top of mind to make sure that they can get to doing their actual jobs much quicker. I am going to grab a quick drink. 1 second.
Sure, of course. I personally love the workspaces on there. Just, as you said, ease of use, data at your fingertips. It's an extremely important feature that I know our clients would greatly, greatly love and benefit from.
Yeah, we're super, super excited about the employee workspace and the admin workspace. Some of the widgets that they're going to see on that initial launch are the ability to quickly clock in, clock out, tasks that are, requiring attention, such as approving time off requests, verifying time cards. And you'll actually do that right on the workspace versus having to navigate to other screens. Again, trying to make that get to your actual job much quicker. Now, time card redesign is one that we've been working on behind the scenes for quite some time, but as we were doing a lot of our interviews and our customer interactions, what we got from them was, we like the look of the time card, we like the function of the time card, but it takes so many dang clicks to get somewhere, right? If I need to navigate to another employee's time card, it's a little bit cumbersome. There's way too many steps involved. Why can't I just have a quick button that moves me back and forth between our employees? And we have spent a lot of time listening and gathering feedback as we've been building this time card redesign. We're actually in the final stages. We're probably about 2 releases, maybe 3 releases out from getting this put in. But again, the goal here is less clicks in order to manage those time cards. You'll be able to seamlessly navigate back and forth from employee to employee and really do all of your time card functions in one screen versus having to go back and forth between the task screen. Advanced accruals. Oh man, this is one of my favorite features that we've been building. I know I talked about the AI stuff a few minutes ago, but this is like one of those functional things, right? Like advanced accruals today inside of the People Cloud platform, you do have the ability to build those accruals out, and think of accruals as your PTO, your sick, your vacation time. You can build all of those out, but we limited the system because it was associated to the payroll function. We kind of limited ourselves in that you could only set those accruals up based around either an annual year or a payroll. So anytime you processed payroll, it could go in and trigger that. But we quickly recognize, that not everybody's accruals run around payroll. Sometimes people want to process accruals on a specific date, whether that be anniversary, whether that be a 90-day introductory window. We kind of pigeonholed ourselves into that payroll world. So what we're doing is kind of ripping off that Band-Aid. And now these accruals will be able to be independent of payroll processing. And we've added a ton of new features in there. So effective dates, expiration dates, priority order. So if employees qualify for multiple accrual plans, you can have the system help deem which accrual plan they should get based on the priority that you set them up in. Proration is another really big thing that we hear from customers coming on board is, if somebody starts in April, we want to make sure that we've prorated their accrual for the rest of the year. Now, we can do all of these things in the system, but it takes a little bit of finessing to get them in there today. Without the finessing, and once advanced accruals come out, it's going to be much more simplistic to build those accruals around your plans versus you adjusting your plans around what the platform can do. So super excited about advanced accruals. This one has taken us, for those of you who are like, we've seen this one on the list for a little bit, because it's so tightly weaved into the payroll process, we had to make sure we took a lot of time of testing and making sure that as we were pulling things out of the payroll function, that we're not actually disturbing the payroll function, right? So we wanted to make sure we did this the right way. So it's going to take us a little bit of extra time, but I promise you this one's coming down the pipeline real quick.
That's super excited. I, for one, love this one right here. I know it's going to make a lot of our clients extremely happy out here. I mean, you know as well as I do, there is a wide variety of different setup types for any kind of accrual plan. And just to have this kind of flexibility to where we can really, really build out the right solution the first time to where we don't have to constantly go back and address, reduce the manual efforts on an
Yes.
admin, just really, really exciting for these.
This one's going to be a fun one, absolutely. Speaking of fun, position management. Now, position management is the backbone of effective human resource management. So, this is going to help maintain a clear structure within your organization. It'll help you define roles and responsibilities and ensure that everybody understands their place and their function within your company. So, this clarity is going to reduce confusion and enhance productivity. Now, an effective product management or position management tool aids in a better budget control and financial planning. So, by knowing exactly which positions are filled, vacant, or even redundant, organizations will be able to allocate resources more efficiently and avoid those unnecessary expenses. So, we're thrilled to be working on this project and bring it to life in 2025. But as you kind of look at this slide, the one thing that stands out most to me is the budgeting and being able to plan your financials throughout the year. It just really helps you keep track of everything that's going on with your organization to help track that position history for your key positions. Now, reporting. Now, the reporting, I feel like AI is a buzzword. Reporting is kind of the new thing. How do I get information out of this system that's packing all of my employees' data? And the iSolved team's been working hard to build out a reporting hub to surface all of your reporting needs in one general area. So hopefully you're kind of seeing a theme here. We've got the admin workspace, we've got the employee workspace. We're building like these hubs, these little general areas where we're packing all of the information into one specific spot. Again, so you're not having to navigate throughout the system itself, right? We don't want you having to maneuver all over the place. So with our client reporting, as we started doing research and looking at kind of the breadth of the reporting that we've got in the system, we learned that over 6 million reports are ran a year through our client report writer. And that doesn't even include our payroll reports. Over 700,000 reports have been built with the client report writer. So we're getting tons of great feedback about, I like to use the report writer itself, but accessing all of those reports today are spread throughout 33 menu items. That is insane to me that we have 33 menu items focused on reporting itself. Now, 4 of those, when we were doing our research, 4 of those menu items people are using on a day-to-day basis. And not just people, almost every single one of our users are using those on a daily basis. So what we've done is taken that direct feedback from all of our customers and we're streamlining reporting into its own hub. Now with client reporting, you'll have one place to view all of your reports, to build all of your new reports. And we're also adding new capabilities that we heard from each of you. So things like the ability to drag and drop as you're building reports in. You want to be able to take one report that's already built in the system, bring it into the report writer, and then just make a few tweaks and adjustments. And then I wish I could see all of your faces, but the highlight favorites, I know that seems so simplistic, but I really cannot wait to have favorites inside of my reporting. And then last but not least, a place to quickly see all of the descriptions and preview reports before you run them. I don't know about you, but sometimes I go in and there are reports in the system that they look very similar. We've got 2 or 3 different versions of it. And instead of spending the time going in and running the report for each one of them to see which one meets my needs, now I'll be able to see a quick little preview of it right as I'm looking at the report itself. So that we can streamline your time, right? We don't want you to have to go through and guess. We want to take the guesswork out of things. So super excited features coming into the reporting hub. And then we can't really talk about reporting without talking about analytics. So the next slide itself, as we continue the hub and spoke model to streamline that experience, we're going to introduce a new analytics hub where we'll be bringing all analytics and insights into the flow of work. Now, our first take of this was with our newly released ROI and KPI dashboards. And the goal with the Analytics Hub is we want to provide meaningful dashboards and modeling to the forefront, which allows you to make more data-driven decisions, data-informed decisions. So any of you who are currently using our predictive people analytics tool, which you can see some of those charts in this slide, our goal is to really take a lot of those analytics and put them into the flow of work. So rather than having to go to the predictive people analytics module to start modeling some of these things, such as turnover or DE&I type initiatives that are built into the system, we want to bring them into the areas that you might be physically working in, so that again, the data is right in front of you versus you having to go and find that data.
I love both of these. I'm a bit of a self-proclaimed data nerd myself, so I love having just the one-stop spots to go in there, more efficiently gather that information, analyze it, and just review for any insights that present themselves. So I personally love those features.
Me too. And I'm a nerd too, Sean. So I think nerds unite. I'm an isolved nerd. So everything around the platform, I feel like I'm a big nerd, but I love that you're nerding out on the reports.
Absolutely.
Um,
So talk to us a little bit about this wonderful new feature.
Yes, Model My Pay is one of the features that I am most excited about as we roll into 2025. Now, the Model My Pay functionality will allow users to be able to simulate things like pay changes, tax adjustments. They can even model a potential bonus that they may be getting. Now, we're not stopping there. We want the employees to be able to model all of these changes, but we also want to make sure that employees could kick off a workflow for things that should happen. So we're not necessarily talking about, I go in and model a bonus and then I kick off a workflow to say, hey, boss, can you get me that bonus? That one doesn't quite make sense, but something like a tax or a 401k adjustment, those things today are traditionally manual, right? You have to go into the system. You can key in your information to update 401k. But what we really want with the Model My Pay is as employees are simulating and looking at these potential changes in their compensation, we don't want them to go in and simulate it and then have to go over to HR and say, okay, I modeled all of these things up. Now, can we start back from the beginning and kick all of the actions, the necessary actions to make these things happen off? So the workflow will actually, based on how your organization's approval process is, the employee would model the changes, kick off the first phase of the approval process, and it can work its way through several lines of approvals to make sure that once they've gone in and made these adjustments, it follows it all the way through to the execution and completion of that tool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know we've had a lot of clients requesting a feature similar to this, looking for that. So I think it's really neat to be able to put that power back into their hands to make the right informed decisions for themselves and their employees. All right. Well, Kelly, I think that kind of brings us to the end of the features that we were really wanting to highlight here for all of our clients. So, thank you for presenting and talking to us a little bit about them. There's obviously a whole lot to unpack, and there's a lot more features and more innovations that are coming that we just simply did not have the space in the slides to include all of them on here. So, one of the things that impresses me the most every single time that I look at the roadmaps is the focus is really on improving the efficiency. Data at your fingertips and ease of access to data is really what I see driving the technological improvements that we are making within these spaces. And with this being a mobile world that we're constantly in, people are going to need that. Businesses are going to need that. Employees and our admins will absolutely be the ones helping to lead that charge as we continue to collect the feedback for you all for these great innovations. So, all right. Well, I just really wanted to say, sincere thank you, Kelly. I really do appreciate you taking the time out and joining us here at Dominion Payroll as we really want to focus in on the innovations and help provide for our clients and give them some insights as one of our kickoff sessions for our Client Appreciation Week. One of the things that I love about this is through this discussion, you've kind of shown us how isolved and Dominion Payroll, we're just constantly innovating. We're constantly looking to deliver for our clients based upon their needs. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to give a sincere thank you to you all as well for joining us today for this session. We've gone over a lot of different features, a lot of new products that are coming up that we're all really excited about. Hopefully, you all are really excited about them as well. We here at Dominion Payroll, as the innovations and as these features are released, we always go through our process of making sure that we can get them in your hands as soon as possible. So if you do have any questions about any of these features, please feel free to reach out to us, whether or not it's your HCM consultant. Please call our client services department. We're absolutely here to help you out. So hopefully this has been enlightening for you all today. Hopefully this has been invigorating for you all. And I do hope that you all really stick around and join a lot of our other sessions that we have planned out through the rest of this week. A lot of really good content out here. One of them, we're absolutely going to be discussing what that ideas collection process will be, to where we can more streamline the process to hear directly from you all, our clients. So therefore, we can continue to make all of these great innovations. So everyone, thank you all very much for all of your time today. Kelli, thank you so much for joining us here at Dominion Payroll. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful rest of the appreciation week. So thank you all.